Hi, my name is DBA Tag. I work as an independent database consultant at DBA Tag. Today we are going to learn something about Denali contained databases, which is a new feature in 2011 or SQL Server Denali. In this screencast, we are going to cover what is a contained database, why contained databases were required, what all is being saved inside a contained databases, what are the benefit of using the contained databases, and we'll see a quick demo also how to implement the contained databases, and finally in the last we will have a question and answer session. What is a contained database? Contained database is a new feature which is being launched in SQL Server 2011, and I'm going to implement that feature on our SQL Server Denali CTP1. This model clearly separates the database application from the management of SQL Server. Application within the contained databases can be isolated from the other databases from the instance of SQL Server on which they reside, simplifying the development and management tasks. For example, if you already have an application which you're going to have an application which is not going to be connect with anything or which is not going to touch anything on the existing systems. Why the databases are required? One of the biggest problem we have when we migrate our database from the one location to another, we are having a lot of issue. For example, a lot of agent jobs are being scheduled for an application. There are a lot of other related things are there which are already left, which always left behind, and we need to manually check what all we have left out, and we need to later on copy the things. If we talk about the contained databases, we have contained databases keeps all the necessary information which is required to support the complete database. For example, it has our tables, functions, constraints, schemas and types. Schema is the thing which is all new included. It also includes all application level objects in a database like logins, application jobs, especially the jobs which are required to manipulate the things, which also get saved inside a contained database. It also saves persisted error messages, link server information and system settings. Previously, all these systems all this information is being saved specifically in a instance level. So now we have all this information is stored inside the contained database. So now we can, if we move a contained database from one server to another instance, it is very easy because everything is being included inside a database. If we talk about the benefit of a contained databases, it is very easy now to move a database from one instance to another because everything is being included inside a database. We just need to back up and restore on another server. No need to move the logins. We no need to move about the mapping of the logins, restore the logins or the mapping of the SIDs. Nothing is required. We just need to back up and perform a restoration on another server. If logins are being saved inside a database, we need to understand what are the authentication mechanisms supported by our contained databases. So contained databases supports a SQL Server authentication and a Windows-based authentication also. For SQL Server authentication, the password, the username is being saved inside a contained databases. We are not going to see that information inside our system's login security information. It is going to be saved inside a database. Even the Windows users also can be get added to that contained databases, but all that information is going to store inside a contained database, not in a server sys logins. You need to be ensured a contained database doesn't exist in a master sys logins table and will not even show up when you look in the SQL Server Management Studio. Let's take a quick look how we create a contained databases, how we create a user inside a contained databases, and how we connect to a contained database using a user which exists only in a contained databases. This user ID will not be exist on a SQL Server. Let's take a quick demo on one of my virtual machine. First of all, I need to enable a contained database authentication mechanism. That is a new property which is got added in server wide. I need to enable that option. So I need to let me quickly enable that option. I need to set that option. So my that option is being enabled. Now I am ready to create a database which can have a contain information. For creating a contain database, it is going to be a user database which has a specific new property by the name of containment partial. So I can create a database by the name of test, which is going to have a property by the name of containment. It is going to have a partial as a value. So let me create that quickly. My database test is being created, and if I quickly look into that, so there is no user already exist on that. So let me quickly add a user into that. I need to create a login inside a contain databases. I need to be inside that database, then only I can do this. So once I into the database, now I can run the statement create user, a username with password, whatever the password I wanted to give it specifically. So now this database is being added, user is being added in my contain databases, but it's not going to show up in the specifically in the SQL Server logins, because this login is not a valid user inside a SQL Server. It is only included in a contain databases. The same way I can create a Windows user also. Sorry, I clicked on something else. Let me quickly execute it again. Oh, it's already exists on the database because I want a master. So I need to choose test, and this is the way I can add that particular user also. Now let me show you how you can connect a username test which doesn't exist on the SQL Server. If I click on that SQL server name and type the password, so by default it is going to come as a, if I'm not going to specify, it is going to contain a legacy system which is going to be try to connect to a master database, which always going to get failed. If you're trying to connect to current database, I need to specify a database name too also, where it can connect and get the authentication information also. So now if I click on the hit button, I will be able to connect it out. But in this, I will be only able to see a test database which is being contained, because it is specifically a login is dedicated specifically to the SQL Server contained databases. This was a quick overview of the demo of the contained databases. If you have any questions, you can send me your questions at dbattack@gmail.com. For more information, you can check a SQL Server-training.com, where I write a lot of blogs. The alias name is also a dbattack.com. A lot of other video tutorials are also presented in my one of the website. You can visit that thing. A lot of things are already available. Thanks for watching this video. Enjoy your day. Have a great day.